We created a concept called tracking the values daily, where the client can actually see the transparency of how their actual product is doing every day. I have my stuff in a portfolio. I can see every day how it's doing in the market. I actually can call the bank and see how my CD is doing, right? But on fixed indexed annuities, what happens is the client will buy what we refer to as a 1-year reset or a 2-year reset. And along the way, if you put your 100,000 in, we don't know what the value is going to be until I refer to as pass go, right? Okay. Once you pass go, whether that's 1 year or 2 years, then all of a sudden you win the $200, you get the $200, right? With us, we get to track it. And you guys know this story, you guys tell this story to your clients. You get to track the values every single day. And then, you know what, if we've had a really good run, we can lock it in. You know, I'm 18 months into a 2-year structure, I can lock it in, right? Or at least the clients have some transparency on how we're doing. And to be honest with you, on these structures, we don't see a lot of this. It's very consistent, you know, on how we win. And so we like going out to the 2-year structures and designs, and sometimes case 3 years. But that's what we did, track the values daily. So we did that 20 years ago, and nobody's actually been able to figure it out, believe it or not.
Yeah, and some insurance companies or advisors say that's not needed. But when we talk about transparency, that's one of the biggest complaints that we've seen in the industry with our clients is they're so used to tracking the values on everything, their home, their stocks, unrealized gains. And they know if they were to pass away, they would get that unrealized gains locked in. Or they can choose to sell their stocks on that day.
100%.
You know, the daily tracking is very important to them. So with most annuities, if I'm right, it's point to point. So in other words, if they pass away in the middle, they only get the previous point's value.
Remember, you didn't pass go yet.
That's right.
You don't get 200.
Right.
You're stuck on Illinois. Yeah, you don't get your 200, right? So, and whether it's actually needed or not, you know, is that a horrible thing if that doesn't happen? But going back to the previous point, but having the transparency and saying, hey, you know what? What's fair? Do you want to be in a 2-year design and being there 23 months and you pass and you don't get any of the gains for 23 months? You know, we created that concept, and it goes back to your comment earlier. It's about I've sat in front of the client, I know the importance, and that's why we created it.